Rams and Seahawks. A great game from up north or down up north in Seattle.
Depends where you are, I guess.
Yeah. I'm used to saying up north because that's how everyone in the U.S. says when they cover it. Paul, what's your takeaway from a gigantic Seahawks win against the Rams?
Well, it was, for me, it was the most entertaining game of the week to watch. It was so exciting. I mean, Russell Wilson's amazing at football is my big takeaway. My dad was lucky enough to be at the game, and I got to talk to him on the phone about the game and ask him a couple questions about players, and he said Russell Wilson popped off the field compared to everybody else. He said Todd Gurley, when he got the ball, was impressive. Jared Goff had a good arm, and DK Metcalf is fast and huge.
It's a high-level scouting report.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what you'd expect, but it was an awesome game. I think Russell Wilson's an unbelievable quarterback, and at the end of the day, he's going to win the Seahawks a lot of games in the next few years. But I don't know. What's your takeaways on the game? I didn't have too many.
I think the biggest takeaway from this game is not necessarily like a big indictment on the Rams or like this big celebration of the Seahawks. I think we already knew the Seahawks were really good, and the Rams showed us how good they are. They're maybe the takeaway is they're not quite as good as they were last year, but they're still a really good team. Gurley looked better, but I think it's pretty clear 5 weeks in that he's not the guy he was. So, but like we already knew that, so that's not the takeaway. The takeaway for me from this game is we talk in college about a Heisman moment. You need those moments that lead you to win that Heisman trophy. And Russell Wilson had his first MVP moment of this season. I think with the way Mahomes played last night and the way Russell has continued to play and just the amount he means to this team and how integral he is to their success, this game, I think we may be looking back in 10 or so weeks when we're talking about the MVP favorites as the moment where we knew Russell Wilson was on the MVP stage.
Yeah.
And
I agree with that.
Yeah, Russell Wilson is ready to go for the MVP. Do you have any other big takeaways from this game? I mean,
my only other thing that I was going to add on is it's kind of perfect as a 1-point game because it shows how close these teams are at the end of the day. They're two very close teams, almost similar on paper-ish, with decent defenses and decent offenses. And like you said, the Rams aren't as good as they were last year.
Yeah.
Seattle's a bit better than they were last year. So, yeah, it was just a exciting game to watch, really.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect description. The Rams aren't quite as good as they were last year, and the Seahawks are a little better, so that's why they're so close now. Last year they were close, but this game, I mean, at one point it felt like the Seahawks were going to blow them out, and for whatever reason, Pete Carroll didn't run the ball or go for it on 4th down, instead kicked a field goal and got the result he deserved when it missed.
Yeah.
And let the Rams back into the game. But these are two really close teams, and I think are the perfect illustration of how exciting the NFC West is going to be down the stretch this year. I mean, we're going to see, I think they play next. And I know the next game is Sunday Night Football, but I believe, their next game is until December. So I'm going to talk about an exciting game. We'll all be looking forward to that one, but let's move on.